Hi there, welcome to this video where I'm joined by Peter Darling.
Hi.
And Pete's going to share some of his songwriting tips for collaborating and giving feedback when working with other songwriters, producers, or musicians. So Pete, I know a lot of musicians can be very sensitive when you give them feedback. What's a polite way from your experience to tell them that part wasn't very good, can we try something else?
Okay. Yeah. So the first thing to say is I think in some ways it's completely understandable that we as musicians or producers or songwriters, whoever it is, we can feel sensitive and precious about the work that we make. Because ultimately, for a lot of us, music has been our hobby, our passion, and part of our identity. So it is always something that I really have to consider the words that I use and how I use them when I'm giving feedback. Because as much as I want the work to be better, I also want the person that I'm working with to feel encouraged and supported and not attacked. So ways that I can do that is by trying to be as complementary as possible. So, for example, rather than just say I had a musician come in to record a string part, for example, for a song that I'm working on, when they first come in, I'm not going to initially stop them and go, okay, that was wrong, that could be better, that's not good, that's not good, that's not good. My aim, especially at the start of working with them, is to encourage them. So I'm trying to support them and tell them the things that they're doing well. So I'm saying, I really loved on that line how you added a little bit of glissando to it, or you used this technique. What technique was that? That was really, really cool. And so I'm instantly trying to encourage them in specific ways. And then when we get to the bits that I think could be improved, I'm not saying that wasn't good, or what I'm doing instead is saying, oh, could we try something out with this? Could we try and add a bit more expression here? Or could we try and just be a little bit tighter rhythmically when we get to this part? There are ways that you can give feedback where just by your choice of words, you're going to get a better performance out of someone else. And you have to be really considerate and empathetic with the other person and be able to encourage them whilst also getting the best out of them.
No personal attacks as well.
Absolutely. So something that I try to do is not use pronouns when I'm giving feedback. So not try and go, oh, you should do this, or, oh, what if you did this? You. I'm trying to actually just focus on the work that we're working on. So I might say, oh, could we try working on the melody at this part? Could we make it have more shape? Could it undulate a bit more? Or could we use some more unstable tones within the melody? So I'm also there. I just said we, for example. So I'm not making it about the other person needs to find the solution. We both need to find the solution. So yeah, could we try doing this? Immediately makes it feel more like teamwork, makes it feel less combative and less of a competition. The idea that I've thought of something that I need to fix in what you have done. I'm deliberately trying to make it a supportive endeavor. And we are focusing on the work and less upon ourselves and our own insecurities.
Yeah, so you're focusing on the project rather than who's in control, who's the leader, who's the best.
Absolutely. I think so often we are trying to navigate different people's egos and what their identities as musicians or producers or songwriters, in the same way that we do it outside of collaboration, the same way we do it when we are talking to our friends or our family or our loved ones. We practice how we relate to them. We need to do the same thing when we are collaborating as well. I think too often we can emphasize the musical and the technical skills that we learn, but we de-emphasize the social skills. And ultimately, the people that I love to work with, I like to work with people who have high musical and technical skills, but more importantly, I love to work with people who are excellent socially. So they're people that I want to spend hours with on a day or work on a project for months at a time, because I know that when I see them and I contact them, it's going to be fun and enjoyable. I don't want to work with someone who's an incredible musician, but I just don't like spending time with.
I guess it's similar to being reliable and just polite in general.
Absolutely. Those are really key parts of collaboration that we can devalue, because ultimately we can end up being so focused on the work that we forget about the other people that we're working with. And in order to have a successful collaborative relationship, you need to be reliable, accountable to the other person. You need to be polite and encouraging to them. And in that way, you can then write better music, because you are in a collaborative unit that is supportive of each other and is more willing to take creative risks. Too often, I think, if I'm in a situation where I don't feel as relaxed as I could be with the other person, I'm going to make safer creative decisions, because I'm not going to be as willing to try different things out, because if they don't work, I'm worried I'm going to look bad.
Yeah.
Whereas if I'm working with someone who I'm really comfortable with and I'm easy with, I'm more likely to go, what if we just tried this? And I try something and it's terrible. And then we go, well, that was terrible. And we move on. Whereas I've been in situations where I've tried something, the other person has made me feel a bit foolish for trying it. I never tried it again. And that was a missed opportunity for the song that we were working on.
I was going to say as well, if someone's really judgmental or overly critical, it might stop you kind of being yourself, I guess, or getting those real creative ideas out there.
Absolutely. And you can start with just your choice of language and trying to be as positive as possible. So trying to in whatever thing you want to improve, trying to pick out the positives of it that are already there, because there will be something that's already there that is good about the thing you're working on. It's going to be a tiny facet of it that needs to be improved. So when you're talking to the other person, focus on the positives that are already there, and they're going to want to be able to work on it more with you. Whereas if you don't, and you just kind of damn the entire thing, you say, that wasn't good. You don't give any specifics, like, how can someone improve with that? They can't. All they think is, that wasn't good. My idea wasn't good. Therefore, I'm not good. And then that person doesn't want to work with you because they feel bad when they work with you.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, that's some great points. Any final thoughts for this video?
Collaborating is harder than writing by yourself. However, from my experience, it is more rewarding because I take more creative risks. I take more or I'm able to use more ideas from other people and other skills that I don't have. That means the finished product is more exciting and more creative, and I actually enjoy listening to it more than if I just did it all myself. So it's harder, but it's worth working on because it's more rewarding in the long run.
Awesome. So thanks for joining me on this video, Peter.
You're welcome.
If you like this video, give it a like. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, make sure you subscribe. And hopefully see you in the next one.